I have a story for you today that doesn't come from the old newspapers of Augusta, Wisconsin. Instead, it's a legend, and I can't find it in the old newspapers of Augusta, Wisconsin. But I did find it in this booklet that was made for Duke Anderson's class. The title of the booklet is A Look at the Past, and it is from the sophomores in 1992 and 93. Since it's a legend, I've heard several versions, and you may have heard a slightly different version, but I think it's awesome to have it written down here so that I can share it with you today. Here it is, The Legend of Green Eyes by Andy Crow. So one may think Augusta is a laid-back town where nothing happens, except an occasional mishap, which results in a few days of excitement and then is soon forgotten. But the truth is, Augusta at one time was an eventful town that could prevent anyone from becoming bored, especially at a certain time when the ultimate in ghost stories was happening close to Augusta. This chilling story is known as The Legend of Green Eyes. This tale begins many years ago, when the area was first being settled by farmers and lumberjacks. Fairchild was the largest community in the county of Eau Claire at that time, and the main east-west route was along what is now known as Cheney Road. Only a few farms were to be found in the rest of the county. On one of those farms lived a young pioneer, his wife and 2 daughters. Their names and other basic details about them are unknown at this time, except that they were immigrants from a large city. They lived in the area for only a few months when the winter set in. It was very rough, as most Wisconsin winters were then. After December, the weather turned so bad that the family became trapped in their one-room cabin without any connection with the outside world for 2 months. It soon became apparent to the wife and her 2 daughters that a little cabin fever had settled in upon the husband. Eventually, the weather improved enough so the local one-room schoolhouse reopened. It was noticed that the 2 girls of the young farmer were not in attendance, and an officer was sent to see why. The officer never returned that night, and a posse was formed. When the posse came upon the farmhouse, they found no signs of life. Everything was still and quiet. An inspection of the cabin turned up no one. Then the group looked through the barn. One person let out a shriek of fear, for hanging from the rafters were the bodies of the young wife and the 2 daughters. The group searched the forest near the farm for several days without finding the murderer, who was thought to be the young farmer. Because it was still cold, it was believed that he had run into the woods and surely froze to death. Early the next summer, 2 farm boys driving a wagon along Cheney Road and about to cross the Eau Claire River saw the body of the young farmer hanging by a noose from the bridge, with his bright green eyes open and glaring at them. Becoming very frightened, the 2 boys quickly fled home and brought the sheriff back to the bridge. When they returned to the bridge, only the empty noose remained. Figuring that the body had fallen into the water, the sheriff ordered that the river be dragged. One party of men went down to the area where the Highway G bridge now stands, thinking that the body would surely surface in the shallow water, and remained there when darkness fell. While looking at the river, one of the men was startled to see a pair of deep green eyes staring back at him. The man immediately threw the hooks into the water, thinking it was the young farmer's eyes being reflected by the moon. But every time the hooks fell close to the eyes would disappear and reappear several feet away. Quickly losing their minds, the men ran back and the search was called off and never resumed. After this time, travelers and hunters passing through the woods would report the sighting of mysterious green eyes glowing in the dark. Although no direct connection can be made, it has been reported that the lumberman who lived near Cheney Road may have seen the eyes shortly before his own death. One winter night, the lumberman told his wife that something was spooking the animals in their barn and went out to see what it was. He never returned. A search party later found him frozen to death, backed up to a tree, rifle in his hand that he had apparently never fired. Stories about green eyes continue to turn up to this day. They are believed to be seen most in or near the water of the Eau Claire River. They have been reported as far east as Lake Eau Claire, as far south as Coon Forks, and as far west as the end of Eau Claire River. Occasionally, the eyes are said to be seen away from the water and in high trees. All reports are consistent that the eyes look nothing like that of an animal. So if you're bored someday, think about the legend of green eyes. Take a walk in the woods, and you may be shocked to find yourself staring into deep green eyes.